Okay, welcome to another wonderful episode again. I'm very, very happy to be here right now. My name is Anointed Rikefe, and I'm a real estate consultant and entrepreneur right here in the city of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. And before we go into the what we have for you in store today, if you've not checked out our previous video, please do well to check out our previous video and hit the subscribe button if you're gaining a lot of value from this channel. All right, so today I don't want to waste much of your time. I promise to make it very, very, very quick and short. Okay, so how to know a good location to invest in? How do you know a good location to invest in? That's the topic for today, by the way. But before we go into that in detail, I just want to say generally, when it comes to real estate investment generally is profitable, right? Real estate investment generally is profitable, right? The word investment there is making it a business. And we know when it comes to, when we talk about investment, it means there's returns involved, right? There is what you're gaining back from it. That's why you're putting your money into it, right? When we're talking about financial investments now, there's something you're gaining back from it, and that's why you are actually putting your money into it. And most cases, it is considered consistently, right? When you're investing in something, you're consistently gaining returns from it. All right, so and generally, real estate investment is really, really, really profitable. And if you're interested in real estate investments long term, then stay and watch this video to the end. So, how do you know a good location to invest in? I will add a couple of factors here or things to consider if you want to know a good location to invest in. Number one, we talk about population. Population. If you want to know a good location to invest in, one of the things you should consider is the population of that location. This is really, really very helpful because one of the things that really determines the increase in value or in real estate is population. So by this, I actually mean you might want to know the current population size of that location. How many people are staying there currently? And how many people are moving in currently? What is the size, or what's the total number of people that are actually staying in this location currently? In order to know this, you can actually know this by just browsing on Google, checking how many people are currently staying in this particular location. That will give you a breakdown of how many people are actually staying in that particular location. So if you want to know the right place, or if this place is the right place to actually invest in, one of the things to first consider is the population size of that current place. Secondly, population growth. Population growth, this is quite different from the first, because here, what I mean by population growth is you might want to check to know how many people, what's the growth rate of that particular location over the years. So what this means is you would want to know how many people stayed there 2015, how many people stayed here, how many people were here 2017, how many people were here 2020, how many people were here 2023, how many people were here, what did they increase towards, the numbers of people that increased to 2024, 2026 now, how many people are currently living here. So population growth actually tells you how the growth rate of the people in that particular location over the years. So in 2015, if there were 100,000 persons living in that particular location, what's the growth rate in 2020? What's the growth rate like now in 2026? So you might want to consider this when you are actually trying to know if this particular location is good to invest in. And also, one of the reasons why this is actually very important is because, like I said earlier, real estate is an industry that grows with population. The more people are actually coming into a particular location, the more it's creating demand. And the more demand there is, the more the price of land is just going to be cheaper now because the more people want space to stay. Right. And the third thing you might want to consider is population, potential population. I call it potential population. So there is population, current population, which I first said. There is population growth, where you have to date back to before. What's the growth rate like over the years? Now, the third is potential population. By potential population, uh, I I mean what's the future population of this particular location? How many people are going to be staying in this place by 2030? So in order to determine this, you have to look at how many people have actually been staying in that particular location before, what's the growth rate like over the years, and what's the current population of that particular place. When you look at these two factors, it can help you to determine how many people are going to be staying in that particular location by in 2 years time, or in 3 years time, or in 5 years time, as the case may be. This is actually very important. Fourth thing you might want to consider is the movement and geographical size of that particular location. By this, I simply mean, so when talking about movement, we're talking about both the how many people are moving into this particular location. So here is it. You might want to consider, are people moving towards this location, right? What's the movement of people? What's the movement of infrastructure? Government projects being taken to that particular location, schools being built in that location, is technology going towards this location. You might want to consider that movement, and if it's going towards that location, that's a sign for you that this is a good place for you to actually invest in. And also considering the geographical size. So if the place is not so big, if the place is a very small place, but the movement is currently going towards that location, that's pointing out something to you. It's that's a sign that you might want to invest there anytime soon, in fact, anytime now, because if the place is small, but movement is currently going into that place, development is currently going into that place, then there's every tendency that lands in that particular location might be sold at very soon. And because of the current movement of people and infrastructure into that place. But if movement is not going there, and but movement is going towards this way, you might want to consider investing towards this way because there is a movement going towards this way. Movement is also very important because it helps you in the sense that if the place is not so big, but there's a lot of development going on there, and you get to buy a property for, let's say, 2 million naira, you can be sure that in the next 2 years or more, I can sell my property for like 5 or 6 million naira. So the movement of people is actually movement and geographical size. These are one factor that you might also want to consider. And this brings me to the point. I remember having a conversation with a client some time ago, and he told me he bought a property at a particular location, and for 8 years, the property had not increased in value. And I asked to know certain things about the location. I just asked some questions to know certain things about that location, and I got to discover that there will not really be any significant increase in value in that location because that location is actually mapped out for agriculture. Right. So if you're buying with the intention of reselling after some time or developing after some time, then that is not really going to be a profiting investment. Why? Because there are some locations in certain cities that are mapped out for just agricultural purpose. So projects don't go there, government projects don't go there, people don't go there to build industries or factories or manufacturing or commercial purposes. They don't use that for companies, right? They just set it out for agricultural purposes. This is mostly common in the UK and the US part of the world, right? There are certain locations that if you buy there with the intention of reselling after some time to make more money than you bought before, then there are some locations that are not good for you. And it's like this in some cities in Nigeria. But if you are buying with the intention of agriculture, then that location would actually fit into your intent. Okay, so that brings me to the end for now. My name is Anointed Kefe, and I'm a real estate consultant and a real estate entrepreneur here in the city of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. And if you're looking for a reliable company to actually handle your real estate investment and your real estate portfolio, anything that has to do with real estate investments here in the city of Port Harcourt, Nexura Properties is your shop plug. Reach out to Nexura Properties. Follow us on all social media handles at Nexura Properties, or call the number that is displaying on your screen for consultation, for bookings, for inspections, to know the different locations that we have. Reach out to Nexura Properties. Now, thank you. See you next time.